First contact. The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Earth exploration vessel, Horizon, as it glided silently through the cosmos. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. The ship had been on its maiden voyage for 6 months, pushing the boundaries of human exploration further than ever before. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous signal," Lieutenant Ravi Patil announced from his station, his fingers dancing over the control panel. "It's unlike anything we've encountered before." Sarah's heart raced with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "Can you pinpoint the source?" Ravi nodded, adjusting the ship's sensors. "It's coming from a nearby star system, about 2 light-years away. The signal pattern suggests artificial origin." A hush fell over the bridge as the implications sank in. This could be it, the moment humanity had been waiting for since they first looked up at the stars. "Plot a course," Sarah ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Let's go say hello to our new neighbors." As the Horizon approached the source of the signal, the crew's anticipation grew. They entered a solar system unlike any they had seen before, with rings of shimmering energy encircling the planets and structures that defied the laws of physics as they knew them. "My God," whispered Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the ship's chief scientist, "it's a Dyson sphere, or at least the beginnings of one. The level of technology required for this, it's beyond our wildest dreams." Before Sarah could respond, a massive ship materialized before them, seeming to phase into existence from nothing. It dwarfed the Horizon, its sleek, crystalline surface refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. "Incoming transmission," Ravi announced, his voice tight with tension. Sarah took a deep breath. On screen, the holographic display flickered to life, revealing a being unlike anything they had ever seen. Its body seemed to be composed of living crystal, with swirling patterns of light dancing beneath its translucent skin. Multiple limbs moved with fluid grace, and its eyes, if they could be called that, were pools of shifting colors. "Greetings, explorers," the being spoke, its voice resonating in their minds rather than through their ears. "I am Zix, emissary of the Zirconian Collective. We welcome you to our domain." Sarah stepped forward, her training kicking in despite her awe. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth vessel Horizon. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship." Zix's colors shifted, a gesture Sarah couldn't interpret. "Your arrival was foreseen, though not quite in this manner. You are younger than we expected." "Younger?" Sarah asked, intrigued. "Your technology is primitive by our standards," Zix explained, the words echoing in their minds with a hint of condescension. "We had not expected a species at your level of development to achieve interstellar travel so soon." Sarah felt a flash of irritation at the dismissive tone, but kept her composure. "We may surprise you. Humanity has a knack for exceeding expectations." Zix's form shimmered, and Sarah got the distinct impression of amusement. "Perhaps you are invited to dock with our vessel. We have much to discuss." As the transmission ended, Sarah turned to her crew. "Opinions?" Dr. Rodriguez spoke up first. "The scientific opportunities are immeasurable, Captain. We can't pass this up. It could also be a trap," Lieutenant Commander Jack O'Neill, head of security, pointed out. "We know nothing about their intentions." Sarah weighed the options. The risks were high, but so were the potential rewards. This was why they had come out here, to make contact, to learn. "We'll proceed with caution," she decided. "Dr. Rodriguez, assemble a small team for the initial meeting. Commander O'Neill, I want you with us, along with 2 of your best. Full combat gear, but keep it discreet. We're here as explorers, not invaders." As the Horizon maneuvered towards the massive Zirconian ship, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were stepping into something far bigger than they had anticipated. Humanity's first contact with an advanced alien civilization was about to begin, and the consequences would reshape the future of both species. Little did they know, The cultural misunderstandings that would arise from this meeting would set in motion a chain of events that would test the limits of human ingenuity, courage, and determination. The stage was set for a conflict that would determine humanity's place in the cosmos, and Sarah Chen found herself at the center of it all. As they prepared to dock, Sarah took one last look at her crew. "Remember," she said, her voice filled with determination, "we represent all of humanity today. Whatever happens, we show them what we're made of." "Absolutely, everyone." Her crew responded in unison. "Absolutely, Mom." With those words of resolve, they stepped forward into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges the universe had in store for them. The ultimatum. The initial meeting with the Zirconians had not gone as planned. What started as a diplomatic exchange quickly devolved into a tense standoff, all due to a simple misunderstanding. Captain Sarah Chen replayed the events in her mind as she paced the bridge of the horizon, now held in a containment field by the massive Zirconian vessel. It had been a handshake, or rather, the attempt at one, that sparked the conflict. When Sarah extended her hand in the universal human gesture of greeting, the Zirconian emissary Zix had recoiled in horror. In their culture, it seemed, touching appendages was reserved for the most intimate of bonds. The simple human custom had been interpreted as a Greek insult, an overture of inappropriate familiarity. "Captain," Lieutenant Ravi Patel's voice broke through her thoughts. "We're receiving a transmission from Earth. It's not good." Sarah's heart sank as she watched the holographic display. The face of Admiral Jenna Hawthorne, her mentor, and the head of the Earth Defense Force, appeared before them. Her expression was grim. "Captain Chen," the Admiral began, her voice tight with tension, "the Zirconians have made contact with Earth directly. They've issued an ultimatum: surrender or face annihilation. They claim our aggressive first contact has revealed humanity's true nature, and they consider us a threat to galactic stability." Sarah clenched her fists. "Admiral, there has to be a way to explain the misunderstanding. If we could just—" "I'm afraid it's beyond that now," Admiral Hawthorne interrupted. "The Zirconians have already demonstrated their power. They've disabled our entire satellite network and our most advanced defense systems with a single energy pulse. Earth's governments are in panic mode. We're looking at a potential global conflict, and we're severely outmatched." The gravity of the situation hit Sarah like a physical blow. A simple handshake had brought humanity to the brink of interstellar war. "What are your orders, Admiral?" Sarah asked, her mind already racing with possibilities. "You and your crew are our only assets beyond Earth's reach," Hawthorne replied. "Your mission is to buy us time. Use any means necessary to delay the Zirconians, gather intelligence on their capabilities, and, if possible, find a weakness we can exploit. The fate of humanity rests in your hands, Captain." As the transmission ended, Sarah turned to face her crew. She saw fear in their eyes, but also determination. They were ready to face this challenge head-on. "All right, people," Sarah said, her voice steady and resolute. "We've got work to do. Dr. Rodriguez, I need you to analyze every bit of data we've collected on Zirconian technology. Look for anything we might use to our advantage. Commander O'Neill, start working on defensive strategies. Lieutenant Patel, see if you can find a way to communicate with Earth without the Zirconians detecting it." As her crew sprang into action, Sarah's mind whirled with ideas. They needed a plan, something unexpected, something quintessentially human that the Zirconians wouldn't see coming. It was Dr. Elena Rodriguez who provided the spark of inspiration. "Captain," she said, excitement breaking through her usual calm demeanor, "I've been studying the Zirconian language patterns. Their communication is based on complex harmonics, almost like music. What if we could use that?" Sarah's eyes lit up. "Go on, Doctor." "Well, humans have a long history of using music as a form of communication, emotional expression, even as a way to bridge cultural divides. What if we could compose a message, a symphony of sorts, that could convey our peaceful intentions in a way the Zirconians might understand. It was a long shot, but it was exactly the kind of out-of-the-box thinking they needed. "Make it happen, Doctor," Sarah ordered. "And let's take it a step further. If music is the key, let's give them a performance they'll never forget." Over the next 48 hours, the crew of the Horizon worked tirelessly. They composed a musical piece that incorporated the harmonic patterns of Zirconian language, infused with the emotional depth of human music. They prepared a visual display showcasing the diversity of human culture and their achievements in art, science, and exploration. When they were ready, Sarah hailed the Zirconian ship. To everyone's surprise, Zix agreed to receive their message. The performance began. A holographic orchestra appeared in the space between the two ships, playing the specially composed symphony. Images of Earth's natural beauty, its diverse peoples, and humanity's greatest accomplishments flowed around the musicians. The performance began. A holographic orchestra appeared in the space between the two ships, playing the specially composed symphony. Images of Earth's natural beauty, its diverse peoples, and humanity's greatest accomplishments flowed around the musicians. As the music swelled, Sarah stepped forward. "People of Zircon," she said, her words translated into harmonics that blended with the music. "We come to you not as conquerors or threats, but as fellow explorers of this vast universe. Our gesture was one of friendship, misunderstood due to our differences. But look at how we've already begun to bridge that gap, turning our misunderstanding into music that unites us." The Horizon crew held their breath as they waited for a response. For long moments, there was only silence. Then, unexpectedly, a new harmony joined their symphony. The Zirconians were responding in kind. Zix's crystalline form appeared before them. "Captain Chen." The Zirconian emissary spoke, their mental voice tinged with what seemed like respect. "Your species continues to surprise us. This music, it speaks to us in ways we did not anticipate. Perhaps we have been too hasty in our judgment." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. It wasn't a resolution, but it was a start. They had bought themselves and Earth some time. "We welcome the opportunity to learn from each other," Sarah replied. "Will you call off your attack and engage in peaceful dialogue?" Zix's colors shifted in a pattern Sarah was beginning to recognize as thoughtfulness. "We will consider it. You have given us much to contemplate. We will maintain our current position, but withhold any aggressive action while we deliberate." As the transmission ended, Sarah turned to her crew. Their faces showed a mixture of relief and lingering tension. They had averted immediate disaster, but the real challenge was just beginning. "Well done, everyone," Sarah said, her voice filled with pride. "But don't relax just yet. We've opened a door, but we need to be ready for whatever comes through it. This is just the beginning." As her crew nodded in agreement, Sarah gazed out at the stars. They had taken the first step towards peace, but the journey ahead was far from over. Humanity's resolve would be tested like never before, and Sarah Chen was determined to prove that humans were worthy of their place among the stars. "Absolutely, Mom," her crew responded in unison, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Operation Trojan Horse. The temporary ceasefire negotiated by Captain Sarah Chen and her crew had given Earth a precious reprieve, but tensions remained high. As the Horizon maintained its position near the Zirconian vessel, Sarah knew they needed to do more than just buy time. They needed to gain an advantage. "Captain," Dr. Elena Rodriguez called out, her voice tinged with excitement. "I think I've found something." Sarah hurried over to the scientists' station, where holographic displays flickered with complex data streams. "What is it, Doctor?" "I've been analyzing the energy signatures from the Zirconian ship," Elena explained, her fingers dancing over the controls. "There's a pattern here, a vulnerability in their shielding technology. It's subtle, but if we could exploit it..." Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. Could we use this to disable their weapons? Their propulsion systems. Elena shook her head. Not directly, no. But if we could get someone on board their ship, we might be able to introduce a harmonic disruption into their systems. It would be like a computer virus, but one that affects their crystal-based technology. A Trojan horse, Sarah mused, a plan already forming in her mind. But how do we get someone on board without raising suspicion? As if on cue, Lieutenant Ravi Patel's voice cut through the air. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Zirconian ship. They're inviting us aboard. They want to continue our cultural exchange in person. Sarah exchanged glances with her senior staff. This was the opportunity they needed, but it was also incredibly risky. All right, she said, her voice filled with determination. Let's give them a show they won't forget. Dr. Rodriguez, how quickly can you develop this harmonic disruption? Give me 6 hours, Elena replied confidently. Sarah nodded. You've got 4. Commander O'Neill, I want you to select a small team for this mission. We need our best and brightest. As her crew sprang into action, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking a razor's edge. One wrong move could reignite the conflict they'd worked so hard to diffuse. 4 hours later, Sarah stood in the Horizon's airlock with her chosen team. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Commander Jack O'Neill, and a brilliant young engineer named Zora Khoury. Each of them carried a small, innocuous-looking device that housed Elena's harmonic disruptor. Remember, Sarah said, her voice low and intense, our primary mission is still diplomacy. We use these only as a last resort. Understood. Her team nodded solemnly. As the airlock cycled open, they stepped into the crystalline corridors of the Zirconian ship. Zix greeted them, its shifting colors suggesting a mix of curiosity and caution. Welcome aboard the luminous harmony, the Zirconian emissary said, its mental voice resonating in their minds. We are intrigued by your musical offering. We wish to learn more about your species' artistic expressions. Sarah smiled diplomatically. We're honored to share our culture with you, Zix. Perhaps we could begin with a tour of your magnificent vessel. As Zix led them through the ship, the humans were awestruck by the advanced technology surrounding them. Living crystals pulsed with energy, and entire walls shifted and reformed at a mere thought from the Zirconians. Elena and Zara discreetly scanned everything they passed, while Jack kept a watchful eye on their hosts. Sarah engaged Zix in conversation, asking about Zirconian history and culture, all while looking for an opportunity to implement their plan. That opportunity came when they reached what appeared to be the ship's central control hub. As Zix explained the basics of their navigation systems, Sarah noticed a familiar-looking crystal array. Fascinating, she said, stepping closer. This reminds me of an instrument from Earth called a crystal harp. May I? Before Zix could respond, Sarah ran her fingers across the crystals in a practiced motion, producing a haunting melody. The Zirconians in the room froze, captivated by the unexpected music. In that moment of distraction, Elena and Zara moved swiftly, attaching their devices to key points around the room. The harmonic disruptors activated, their frequencies blending seamlessly with Sarah's impromptu performance. For a tense moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, almost imperceptibly, the pulsing energy of the ship's systems began to falter. Zix's colors swirled in alarm. What is happening? Sarah's heart raced, but she kept her composure. I apologize if I've overstepped, she said smoothly. On Earth, music is often a spontaneous expression of emotion. I was moved by the beauty of your ship. As she spoke, the effects of the harmonic disruption spread throughout the Zirconian vessel. Systems flickered, and the once impenetrable shields began to weaken. Suddenly, an alarm blared, a discordant sound that set the humans' teeth on edge. Intruders. A Zirconian voice boomed. The humans have sabotaged our systems. Sarah's team tensed, ready for a fight, but she held up a hand to stop them. Zix, she said, her voice calm but firm, we didn't come here to fight. We came to level the playing field. Your technology far surpasses ours, but we've shown you that we're not helpless. We want peace, but we're prepared to defend ourselves if necessary. Zix's form shimmered with conflicting emotions. You tricked us, it said, its mental voice a mix of anger and grudging respect. We did what we had to do to protect our people, Sarah replied, just as you would. But now we have a choice. We can escalate this into a war that will cost both our species dearly, or we can use this moment to start real negotiations as equals. The tension in the room was palpable as Zix considered Sarah's words. The fate of two species hung in the balance. Finally, Zix's colors settled into a calm pattern. You are not what we expected, humans, it said. Perhaps there is wisdom in your approach. We will negotiate. As relief washed over her, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. They had taken an enormous risk, but it had paid off. Humanity had earned its place at the galactic table. Thank you, Zix, she said. I believe this is the beginning of a new era for both our peoples. As they prepared to return to the horizon to begin formal negotiations, Sarah caught the eyes of her team. They had pulled off the impossible, turning a potential catastrophe into an opportunity for peace. Well done, everyone, she said quietly. Absolutely stellar work. Her team's response was immediate and heartfelt. Absolutely, ma'am. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humanity had proven its resilience, ingenuity, and determination. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, as equals among the stars. The tables turn. The negotiations between humanity and the Zirconians have been progressing slowly but steadily over the past few weeks. Captain Sarah Chen found herself at the center of it all, acting as Earth's primary representative. The horizon had become a neutral meeting ground, its conference room transformed into a hub of interstellar diplomacy. As Sarah entered the room for another round of talks, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in how far they'd come. The Zirconians, led by Zix, sat on one side of the table, their crystalline forms shimmering with subdued colors. On the other side sat Sarah's team, along with holographic projections of key Earth leaders. Before we begin, Zix's mental voice resonated. We must address a concern. Our long-range sensors have detected a fleet of ships approaching from the direction of your home system. Is this an act of aggression? Sarah's heart skipped a beat. She hadn't been informed of any fleet movements. I assure you, Zix, if there is a fleet approaching, it's news to me as well. Perhaps we should investigate this together. Admiral Hawthorne's hologram spoke up. Captain Chen, the fleet is real. We've been developing new ships based on the technology we've gleaned from our exchanges with the Zirconians. We intended it as a show of good faith, proof that we're capable of becoming true partners in the galactic community. Sarah could see the colors shifting rapidly across the Zirconians' forms, a sign of agitation. She needed to act fast to prevent this misunderstanding from undoing all their progress. Zix, she said, her voice calm but firm, I propose we take a break from negotiations and go see this fleet for ourselves. You'll see that we have no hostile intentions. After a tense moment, Zix agreed. Both ships set course to intercept the approaching human fleet. As they drew near, Sarah's jaw dropped. The fleet was unlike anything she had ever seen. Sleek vessels that combined human design aesthetics with unmistakably Zirconian-inspired technology filled the view screen. At the center was a massive ship that dwarfed even the Zirconian vessel. Impressive, Zix admitted, its mental voice tinged with a mix of concern and respect. You have adapted our technology far more quickly than we anticipated. Sarah saw an opportunity. This is who we are, Zix. Humanity's greatest strength is our ability to learn, adapt, and innovate. We don't just copy. We improve, we create, we push boundaries. This fleet isn't a threat. It's an invitation to explore the stars together as partners. She turned to address both the Zirconians and the Earth representatives. Think of what we could achieve together. Our adaptability and creativity combined with your advanced technology and ancient wisdom, we could solve problems that have plagued both our species for millennia. The conference room fell silent as everyone contemplated Sarah's words. It was Admiral Hawthorne who broke the silence. Captain Chen is right. This fleet represents not just our technological advancement, but our hope for a peaceful and prosperous future alongside the Zirconians. Zix's colors swirled in a pattern Sarah had come to recognize as deep contemplation. You continue to surprise us, humans. Perhaps we have been too hasty in our judgments. Your species possesses qualities we had not fully appreciated. Sarah felt a glimmer of hope. Then let's use this moment to redefine our relationship. No more threats, no more ultimatums. Let's forge a true alliance, one that will benefit both our peoples and perhaps the entire galaxy. What followed was a flurry of activity. The negotiations took on a new energy as both sides began to see the potential in a genuine partnership. Sarah found herself working tirelessly, mediating discussions on technology sharing, cultural exchanges, and joint exploration initiatives. Days turned into weeks, and slowly but surely, a framework for a human-Zirconian alliance began to take shape. The once threatening Zirconian ship now served as a hub of cooperation, with human and Zirconian scientists working side by side to unlock new technological marvels. As Sarah watched a group of human engineers excitedly discussing crystal matrix theory with their Zirconian counterparts, she felt a tap on her shoulder. It was Commander Jack O'Neill. "Captain," he said, a rare smile on his face. "You've got to see this." He led her to the Horizon's observation deck. As the door slid open, Sarah gasped. The view outside was breathtaking. The human fleet and the Zirconian ship were engaged in what could only be described as a dance. Beams of energy flowed between the vessels, not as weapons, but as a demonstration of shared power and technology. "It's beautiful," Sarah whispered. "It's more than that, Captain," Jack replied. "It's history in the making. And it's all thanks to you." Sarah shook her head. "Not just me. Every member of this crew, every human and Zirconian who chose cooperation over conflict, we all made this happen." As they stood there, watching the spectacle unfold, Sarah felt a sense of profound accomplishment. They had turned a potential catastrophe into a new beginning for both species. The road ahead would not be easy, but they had proven that together they could overcome any obstacle. "Well, Commander," Sarah said, a smile playing on her lips, "I'd say our mission was a success. Wouldn't you agree?" Jack's response was immediate and filled with pride. "Absolutely, Mom." As the lights of the combined fleet danced across the observation deck, Sarah Chen knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had not only secured its place among the stars, but had also opened the door to a future brighter than they could have ever imagined. The adventure was only just beginning. A new era. 5 years had passed since the historic alliance between humanity and the Zirconians was forged. The galaxy had changed dramatically, and at the center of it all stood the gleaming space station, Harmony, a testament to what could be achieved when two vastly different species worked together. Captain Sarah Chen, now Admiral Chen, stood at the panoramic window of her office aboard Harmony, gazing out at the bustling activity around the station. Ships of human, Zirconian, and now various other alien designs darted about, a cosmic ballet of commerce and cooperation. A chime at her door pulled Sarah from her reverie. "Enter," she called. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stepped in, her face alight with excitement. "Admiral, you're not going to believe this. The Joint Research Team has just made a breakthrough in quantum entanglement technology. We might be looking at near-instantaneous communication across the galaxy." Sarah smiled warmly at her old friend. "That's fantastic news, Elena. It seems like every day brings a new discovery." "That's not all," Elena continued. "The Zirconian Council has approved our proposal for a joint deep space exploration mission. We're going to be pushing beyond the boundaries of known space. As they discussed the implications of these developments, Sarah couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. The initial misunderstandings and conflicts seemed like a lifetime ago. A holographic notification appeared, reminding Sarah of the impending ceremony. "We better get going," she said. "We don't want to be late for our own celebration." They made their way to Harmony's grand auditorium, a massive space capable of accommodating beings from dozens of different species. As they entered, Sarah was struck by the diversity of the crowd. Humans mingled with Zirconians, their once stark differences now a source of strength and mutual fascination. Sarah took her place on the stage alongside Zix, who had become a close friend and ally over the years. The Zirconian's crystalline form glowed with warm, welcoming colors. Friends, colleagues, honored guests. Sarah began, her voice carrying across the auditorium. 5 years ago, we stood on the brink of conflict. Today, we stand united, not just as humans and Zirconians, but as members of a thriving galactic community. Zix's mental voice joined hers, creating a harmonic resonance that filled the room. Together, we have achieved what neither of us could have done alone. We have pushed the boundaries of science, fostered understanding between cultures, and opened up new frontiers for exploration. As they spoke, holographic displays showcased their shared achievements. Cities on Mars built with Zirconian crystal technology, medical breakthroughs that had extended lifespans for both species, and starships capable of speeds once thought impossible. But our greatest achievement, Sarah continued, has been in showing the galaxy that differences need not lead to conflict. That diversity, when embraced, leads to strength and innovation beyond measure. The audience erupted in applause, a cacophony of sounds from various species that somehow blended into a harmonious whole. As the ceremony concluded, Sarah found herself surrounded by well-wishers from across the galaxy. She caught sight of familiar faces: Commander Jack O'Neill, now a respected diplomat, and Zora Curry, whose engineering genius had been crucial in many of their joint projects. Amidst the celebration, a young ensign approached Sarah, awe evident in her eyes. "Admiral Chen," she said, her voice trembling slightly, "I just wanted to say, you're the reason I joined the fleet. Your story inspired me to believe that we could make a difference out here." Sarah felt a lump in her throat. "Thank you, Ensign. But remember, it wasn't just me. It was everyone who dared to believe in a better future and worked to make it happen." As the ensign nodded and moved away, Zix approached. "Your species continues to fascinate us, Sarah," the Zirconian said. "Your capacity for growth, for turning potential adversaries into allies, it is truly remarkable." Sarah smiled. "We've learned just as much from you, Zix. Your patience, your deep connection to the universe around you. These are qualities that have enriched us immeasurably." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent message. A new, previously unknown species had made contact at the edge of explored space. They were requesting a meeting with the leaders of the galactic community. Sarah and Zix exchanged glances. Once, such news might have been met with fear or suspicion. Now, it was an opportunity for new friendships, new discoveries. "Well," Sarah said, a hint of her old captain's determination in her voice, "shall we go welcome them to the neighborhood?" Zix's colors swirled in agreement. Indeed, together, as always. As they prepared to embark on this new adventure, Sarah felt a familiar surge of excitement. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and humanity, hand in hand with their Zirconian friends and other allies, was ready to embrace it all. She turned to her assembled crew, a mix of species and backgrounds, all united in their quest for knowledge and understanding. With a smile, she asked, "Ready for another adventure?" The response was immediate and unanimous, a chorus of voices human and alien alike. "Absolutely, Mom." And with that, they set off towards the unknown, carrying with them the spirit of cooperation and discovery that had transformed potential enemies into the closest of allies. The stars beckoned, and together they would answer the call, ready for whatever new challenges and wonders awaited them in the vast expanse of the cosmos.